You're tuned in to Oilers Nation every day with Tyler Yaremchuk, live every weekday on the Nation Network YouTube.
Death, taxes, and Jack Campbell getting dubs. Huh? Let's get into it with the lead.
You're getting good at those.
Hey, shout out to a friend of the show, Spencer Powell, who DM'd me on Instagram with that idea to start the show. But hey, Jack Campbell's got win number 19 under his belt. Mm-hmm. Damn. I'm sure if you would have told Oilers fans at the start of the year Jack Campbell was going to win 19 of his 30-some starts, how could you complain about it?
We'd be pumped. I mean, man gets it done at the end of the day. McDavid puts up points. Draisaitl scores goals. Jack Campbell gets wins.
Just how Kenny Holland drew it up when they inked that $25 million deal. The Oilers walk out of Arizona, get out of the Mullet Arena with a big win. 2 points in the bag. Jack Campbell improves his record to 19-9-4. And while maybe we're taking our cheap shots as media, the team respected the effort Jack Campbell gave in that game against Arizona. He stops 29 of 33, and he got the player of the game motorcycle jacket after. 2 thumbs up for the 2 points from Jack Campbell. That Aaron's laughing really hard behind the scenes. That looks like it might be a hostage road.
Earned, not given, is what I will say. To his credit, he's the reason the Oilers came out of that first period with a lead.
Yeah.
He was rock solid in the first. In the second, they did a good job of limited chances. I think they had 2.
Yeah.
And then third period comes and the Oilers allow a couple extra chances through and they go all the way through and we're a 4-4 game. But we won.
Jay, your thoughts? Son of a gun. Jay will stop by at some point. It is 12:03, which is usually when he thinks the show starts. But Jay will be around in a bit. Welcome into the Sports Closet studio. 3 locations in the Edmonton area. Or you can check them out online at sportscloset.ca. Get geared up for game day with our friends at the Sports Closet. It is a Sherwood Ford giant game day edition of the show. Even though the Oilers played last night, they're playing again tonight. Second of back-to-backs. They're in Vegas, a situation they actually succeeded in last time they were in it, playing the second of back-to-backs in Vegas.
We were there.
We were there as part of the Nation Vacation. Shout out to AMA Travel. Look at all the shout-outs we're getting away.
Who got the win?
Jack Campbell got both wins on both sides of the doubleheader the last time the Oilers were in this situation. So there you go. We're going to break that all down. Like I said, Sherwood Ford Giant Game Day from the Sports Closet studio, live on the Oilers Nation YouTube, where our pal Rusty was in with the first comment and says McDavid is due for a 4-point night and a multi-goal game. He's going to lead Edmonton to a massive 4-2 dub. He's slumping. He's on a crazy point streak. But he's slumping, only 1 assist in each of his last 2 games.
Is that Connor McDavid?
Yeah.
I was replying to some chat messages.
Got some trolls?
Yeah, Connor McDavid. He was missing those empty nets last night too. I think he had a couple of chances. But
8-game point streak, but he only has 2 points in his last 2 games. That's just not going to cut it, Connor.
It's not up to the standards we need, Mr. McDavid.
We need more from
everyone else is pulling their weight. You've got to as well. He actually hasn't scored since he scored 60, has he? So, yeah, I mean, it'd be nice for him to show up tonight. They do need a big performance from the big guns if they want to go and beat Vegas in Vegas, where the Oilers, I think, have had some relatively good success more past just this season, too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Hungry Tyler says Janmark Revenge Tour. Yep, it's a Janmark Revenge game tonight. Guitar Maniac says 879 at the end of the day. For me to consider him good, it needs to be 900, no caveat. Yeah, listen, I had that kind of mindset earlier in the year with Jack Campbell, but his save percentage has gotten a little better in each of his last 4 starts. 714, 842, 875, 879, and he's got a record of 2-1 in those starts because he got a no result against Columbus. So I don't know, maybe things moving in the right direction. He did make some nice saves last night, but someone else pointed out in the chat his rebound control wasn't good. And Timmy says he was out of position last night. And I mean, it's kind of same old from that perspective.
Just on the stats thing, Tyler, honestly, I think for both goaltenders, this is something I just learned this season. I'm honestly just throwing them out the window. Because sometimes you'll watch, and like the Arizona one last time where Skinner played and he had like an 8-14 or whatever it was. Like, if you watch the game, he was good. And it's just like you watch it sometimes. And one thing I respected a bit more from Campbell yesterday was kind of his urgency to try and control his rebounds a little bit more. Like there was a couple of times he was literally, do you remember the game Hungry Hippos?
Yes.
So do you know when they like sprawl out and dive on the balls in the middle? That's kind of what I felt with Jack Campbell when he was trying to get on pucks last night. And he was doing it a lot more, to his credit, to try and stay in there. And yeah, it wasn't great. I think, what was it, the third or fourth goal came off one of his rebounds. So it's obviously a hole in his game. We're at game 74. It's not going to get better at this point, but he did enough last night to get it done. And that's kind of just where I'm at with the goaltender. Stats feel just completely irrelevant to me at the moment.
Yeah, and I think it's totally fair to have that mindset as an Oilers fan. It's about wins right now. That's what Luke Meyer says. Just win, baby. And I agree. Like at this point in the season, you care about wins. When you get to the playoffs, we're not going to sit here and be upset if the Oilers win playoff games 5-4 or 6-5. We're going to be happy they got the 2 points, right? What did you think of watching a game in Mullet Arena, Hungry Tyler? Is it just me, or was that camera angle very, quote, far from the ice in the Arizona rink? I think there's a standard they need to have, which is why they probably have it up where they did. But I thought it was still kind of a neat environment to watch one game in.
Yeah, we spoke about it yesterday. I was relatively excited to kind of see what it was all about. We got the McDavid, Gene Principe put up the video of McDavid walking from the dressing room to the ice, which was, boy, oh boy, it was something. And then, yeah, the visuals inside the rink, it was different. And I think it's good how the play, like I was watching some of the post-game interviews about it, and McDavid had a very funny response. I think it was Tony Barra asked him, he was like, what did you think of, what was your first experience like of Mullet Arena? And he just openly laughed out loud. And that was his first comment to it. So, but I think it's good. Like it was interesting. The camera angle was different, but I got used to it. But it's kind of fun, to be honest.
Yeah, I didn't hate it. We'll get a look at some of the highlights from last night, including one of the Oilers' first goal, which came just a couple seconds. That is a power play masterclass, that goal right there. Yeah. You win the draw, you snap it around, 3-4 guys touch the puck, boom, back of the net. Loved the effort from Hyman to go to the paint there. Didn't get reviewed, didn't get called back. Very nice. Evan Bouchard walked the line really well. Vision from Nuge, again, all around. That right there. Copy and paste that every single power play. That's what makes the Oilers dangerous. And there you get a look at the camera angle from Mullet Arena. Tyler Mulick, McDavid has played in front of more fans when he was 10 years old.
It's funny. McDavid said in his post game that one of his favorite rink, he's like, obviously he played in Erie. He's like, yeah, I loved playing in Erie in that smaller rink. And somebody said Erie's capacity of the arena is almost double to what the Mullet Arena is. And he laughed about it again. He just kept laughing about the Mullet Arena in this interview. It's very funny.
There was a comment in here, and I get the sense this is going to be a theme on today's show. Curtum says, yeah, Campbell definitely isn't ready for the playoffs. Rob Brown said it on 6:30 Ched last night. I mean, is there anyone asking that question?
Yeah, I don't think that's a conversation. I think there's one man who needs to be ready for the playoffs, and his name is Stuart Skinner.
Yeah, like no one's sitting there being like, boy, I wonder if Jack Campbell's going to factor in. I know someone was like, do you call up Picard for the playoffs? Listen, if you're going to your backup at this point and you're the Oilers, you're hooped.
The game's gone.
Yeah, like you're doing it because someone's getting yanked, because Stuart's getting yanked, right?
Yeah, and hey, we've joked about it, but he's winning hockey games. He is literally
Yeah.
You get to the playoffs, you want to win games. Like you just said, Tyler, it doesn't matter what stats you have. Are you winning? If Jack Campbell has to go in, it's obviously not a good scenario, but maybe he figures it out. Maybe he just figures out how to keep winning.
So last night I tweeted, trying to survive a Jack Campbell start is a struggle for this team. And some of the replies kind of irked me, irritated me a little bit. Someone trying to survive the fact they can't defend is a struggle. Trying to defend is a struggle for this team. And I'm going to take a little bit of an issue with that. Okay. Just a hair. I don't think this team is bad at defending. I think that is just something people are grasping at because they don't want to be the ones talking about the goaltending.
I think they have bad moments, but I think as a whole, they're not bad defensively.
I'm not saying they're great defensively. Yep. I think you'd be foolish to suggest that. But the idea that this team can't defend, my question to these people would be, do you ever watch other hockey games that are not the Edmonton Oilers? Because I actually legitimately think that's a problem. I think it's a problem when people are evaluating Darnell Nurse, which we'll talk about a little bit later in the show as well. I think it's a problem when people evaluate this team's defense because they sit there and they watch and they see 3 mistakes and 3 or 4 good scoring chances. And they kind of go, well, that can't happen. Playoff teams don't do that. And I'm here to tell you that playoff teams do that.
Yeah.
Every single game that's played in the NHL, and I'll have numbers in a second, every game that's played in the NHL, each team has some defensive breakdowns. Each team has turnovers. Sometimes it's even the other team's really good defensemen and really good forwards that make those things. And I'm being kind of like tongue-in-cheek and all of that, but it's just a little bit annoying when people will sit and watch the Oilers make a handful of mistakes. Some of them aren't good. And those be like, wow, the team sucks defensively. You're never going to win in the playoffs. Goals against are a bit of a problem right now. But to just hang it all on the blue line and their defensive structure, I think is a mistake. And here's the numbers I have to back this up. This is first on our list of 3 big things from last night's game. The Oilers are 19th in shots against per 60 at 5-on-5. The Oilers are 13th in scoring chances against per 60 at 5-on-5. They are 13th in high danger shot attempts against at 5-on-5. 13th. That is above league average. Like, yeah, the shots are a little bit higher, sure. 13th in scoring chances against, 13th in high danger against. That is above league average.
Yep.
This team is never and has never tried to sell you on the fact that they're going to be elite defensively. That is not their identity. They are a high offense, high octane team that is led by the 2 best offensive players in the NHL in Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. On the blue line, they got guys like Bouchard and Nurse that like moving the puck up the ice, like getting the puck up the ice and like jumping up in the play. Even their bottom 6 for the most part, and we could even flash this up. Like, it's not a lot of guys who are known for their defensive prowess. It's a lot of guys who like scoring goals.
Yep.
This is a team whose identity is based in offense. They are never going to be a top 5 defensive team in the NHL, but the idea that they are terrible defensively is just not rooted in fact. It's not. The numbers don't back it up. And if you sit there and go, well, I saw 4 turnovers last night that resulted in scoring chances. Go watch other hockey games. Go watch other teams, other NHL teams play. Watch the Tampa Bay Lightning. You'll see Victor Hedman turn over pucks. There is no perfect defenseman in the NHL. There is no perfect team in the NHL. There have been a lot of shutouts this year in the NHL. The least amount of scoring chances given up in one of those shutout victories is 10. So even in the best defensive game where a team did not give up a goal, they still gave up 10 scoring chances. There were 10 scoring chances that their goaltender, and it was Boston beating Colorado, 10 scoring chances that their goalie had to turn aside in that hockey game. A perfect hockey game is not going to be played. A near perfect hockey game is going to feature scoring chances against. I'm just getting a little bit tired of people just going, scoring chances. By the way, those numbers I spit, I should have prefaced this, are since the trade deadline, since the arrival of Matthias Ekholm. That is a recent stat in terms of them being 13th and 13th in high danger attempts and high danger and scoring chances since the deadline. So I don't know. And Lance says, I'm not here to watch the Oilers play defense. I want to win the cup 8-7. And listen, the truth is probably somewhere in the middle there. You're not going to win the cup giving up 7 goals a game, but it'd be absolutely electric. Last year, there were games Mike Smith stood on his head. There were a lot of games where they had to outscore their problems. That's just who this team is. And I don't know. Lance says, I'm so close to going full spicy. Someone say something dumb. Like, and Pale says, I'm heated. I'm not like, I'm irritated because I just feel like this is a narrative that people are running with. And it's the mindset you get when you watch just your favorite team play. And that's fine. That's all good. But don't be running around trashing the Oilers because you don't have the perspective of the rest of the league. I don't know.
Yeah, you're correct in everything you just say. Like, it is what it is. I think maybe the frustrating part too is when you watch the Oilers play, like especially last night. So Jack Campbell obviously made some good saves last night. There's no denying that.
Yep.
But the ones that went in were not high danger scoring chances for the most part, right? Like, they were fairly relatively easy shots that went past him, which shows that like the Oilers don't give up massive chances all the time and everything. So it's it's an all narrative team. There's narratives all over this team. Like, Darnell Nurse sucks at defending despite leading this team in plus minus and all this other stuff. So yeah, I agree with what you say, Tyler. And just looking at the stats too, I did a little thing whilst you were talking there. Just goals against. So the Oilers, since the trade deadline, have 3.67 goals average that against.
Yeah.
That's better than the Dallas Stars. That's like 0.2 different than the Tampa Bay Lightning, who are known as these like serious cup contenders who don't give up goals and all this stuff. It's like, well, actually they do. Toronto's right there as well. Like the Oilers are obviously, you want that number lower. There's obviously no denying. I mean, look at Vegas right there, 2.77, I think that says. Like, but you also look at the goals for that the Oilers get, and they're able to outscore them. And like you said, that's just what this team is. Everybody knew coming into the season, the Oilers were going to try and outscore their problems, and that's exactly what they do almost every single night.
Since the deadline, 13th and 13th in high danger attempts and scoring chances against. 25th in goals against in that span. What's the problem there, right? What's the problem?
It's a telling story.
I cannot tell with some of you in the chat if you're just trying to piss me off or if you're legitimately giving me your takes. But Brent says, I said there's no perfect defense. There's no perfect game in the world. Same baseball. You can't have a perfect game. Brent says there's no perfect goalie either, but you expect Jack Campbell to be perfect. I actually don't expect Jack Campbell to be perfect. I just want him to be better than... Oh, sorry. I'm still scrolling, trying to find him on the save percentage leaderboard.
47th, I believe.
I'll get there, Liam. Don't worry. Which we said is the minimum. Maybe that'll help me here. 25 games played as the minimum for goalies in the NHL. We'll sort by save percentage. Just bear with me here. Okay, I'm going. I think I'm about to find. There he is. Yeah, 46th. Oh, Liam. I don't expect him to be perfect. I don't expect the Oilers' blue line to be perfect. I don't expect them to be brutal. I don't expect them to be bottom of the league, worse than 32nd in save percentage. If the Oilers were 31st in scoring chances against, if they were 31st in high danger looks against, I'd sit here and carve them. I'd be with you. I'd be doing the Darnell Nurse 9.25 million, Ken Holland, Campbell, the blue line, trade Evan Bouchard for peanuts like Jay wants. I'd be with you. But we're dealing with facts here. We're not just going to spew shit. You expect Campbell to be perfect. When have I ever said he needs to get a shutout? He needs to be like 905, man, and he's 8 freaking whatever. It's like, come on, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I don't know how to follow it up.
I feel like
that's what Jack. Like, I just don't know what. I expect Jack Campbell to just make saves when he can, and I expect him to probably allow 4 goals a night, which he's done in 7 straight games. And then I expect the Oilers to go and score 5 and win the game.
Brent, buddy, you do, though. Campbell had a good game. You're roasting him. I never said he was brutal last night. I thought he was fine last night. But if we're calling 4 goals and an .879 save percentage a good game, what are we doing here? Right? Like, what's the point?
Yeah. Do we have the goals from last night, Aaron? Yeah. Against. Yeah, the goals against. Let's just walk through them a little bit here and see how our buddy Mr. Jack Campbell did whilst Tyler settles down.
Well, like, where's my water? I don't know.
It's probably boiling hot this morning.
Scott Roney says I'm in peak playoff form. Man, I mean, if we're having these conversations, yeah, my ears are red. Come on. We're getting the goals up here. Yeah. Brad Neske, I'm with Tyler. At some point, you got to be above a 900. When was the last time he did that? I mean, I'll tell you when the last time he did that, because it's been a minute. And again, I like the dude. I think he's a great guy. But it's now been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games.
Good timing, Jay.
8 games since he's been above a 900. 8 games where he's allowed more than 4 goals. He doesn't need to be perfect. Okay, hop in. Jay.
We're just talking about Jack Campbell.
Okay, you're mad at him?
No, I'm mad at the listeners, or a few of them, and I can't tell if they're screwing with me or not.
I don't even know why we're up.
What do you mean? What are they saying?
Because we're just
getting your starter.
No, we're not saying that. No one's saying that.
They were saying that Tyler thinks that Jack Campbell should be perfect, which was never said.
And people keep saying the defense sucks, and they suck defensively. And like, I'm just here to say they don't suck defensively. Last night they played good enough defensively to give up 2 goals, and they gave up a lot more than that. And every team in the league gives up scoring chances. Every team in the league gives up high danger looks. It happens.
I don't think our defense is
It's above average. It's above average.
Yeah, okay.
Since the deadline, it's been above average.
Yeah, of course. The addition of Ekholm has changed things tremendously.
I think that's why.
So now I would say it's average, maybe slightly above. We were below average before.
Yes,
that's fair. And Skinner was better than Campbell in that situation, and is still to this day.
The numbers I pointed out, and I'll catch you up on kind of the gist of the debate. Since the deadline,
Jack Campbell slander.
Since the deadline, 13th in the league in shots against or scoring chances against per 60, and they are 13th in the league.
Is that good?
And they are 13th in the league at high danger chances against per 60.
Well, that's still not good,
but it's above average. Okay.
Yeah, but like,
I did. Whoa.
Okay.
Catching you up. It's above average.
It's a playoff team.
It's a playoff team. Above average.
Yeah. Is it a Stanley Cup team?
In that span, they're 25th in goals against. So what's causing that? You're decent at giving up. You're above average when it comes to preventing chances and looks and good looks, but you're 25th in goals against.
Yeah, the delta is goaltending.
Thank you.
Yeah, it does support your argument, but let's be realistic that being 13th in both those metrics isn't something to celebrate.
Brent, buddy, you're the star of the show. How come this talk wasn't happening after the Vegas game when Skinner let in 2 really bad goals and he cost the Oilers? Because Stuart Skinner hasn't routinely been doing that. Stuart Skinner has a save percentage on the year of .909. Again, an average save percentage. For a team that's average defensively. He fits the mold. He hasn't been brutal for 8 games. This is a blip for Stuart Skinner, and he had one. Back in February, he had one. After he had the baby, after he went to the All-Star game, there were some rough moments in there for Stu.
Yeah.
But he bounced back, and he found another really solid run of games. And he's had a bunch of really solid runs so far this season. So, again, why are we not roasting Stuart Skinner? Because he doesn't deserve it. Point blank.
I don't want to be roasting Jack Campbell. Stuart is our yes, I call him Stuart, is our number 1. Campbell is still finding his game.
Yep.
Now, the thing with Campbell that is very frustrating is he made a lot of big saves last night.
Yeah, he did.
He made a lot of big saves last night. It's so dumbfounding.
They could have lost that hockey
They
game.
could have easily, he's arguably one of the reasons why we won that game.
Okay.
Player of the game.
Yeah, player of the game. And I'm very happy.
So but then that goes back to he had to make some real 5-bell saves. So then that is the team in front of him's problem.
But he's saving his own ass, Jay. He makes big saves and they win 5-4. Okay, good. You better make some good big saves after you give up 4.
There was a lot of big ones.
He also makes them look difficult.
What's this?
This picture's so funny.
Oh,
Liz,
they're getting Jack on.
He
He looks small in that vest.
Stuart Skinner stops a lot of high danger chances, and they don't look that difficult.
Pull up a photo of Ekholm in that vest.
Has he gotten it yet?
Yeah,
What are we talking about?
First game.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
And then the game he got 2 goals.
I don't remember.
Well, geez, because you bet on him to score like I did. Yeah. So, Tyler, you're right to be so upset.
No, I'm not upset, even though I maybe am a little upset. I'm just frustrated at the way some of the takes are put out there. And I just think it's...
Jack is not where he needs to be. Everyone can agree on that.
Yeah.
And that should just be the stance for now.
Is the defensive play at a...
We play differently in front of him too. I'm not even trying to give him excuses, but we're different in front of him. For some reason, we just love these track meets when he's in net. And mostly when Skinner's in net, except for the nights that we don't do the track meets, Skinner happens to be in net.
You talk about Campbell.
We have to stop. As much as entertaining last night was, especially with the late start, and I could have easily fallen asleep if it was a 2-1 game, but it wasn't, so I was awake the whole time. Is we got to get out of these 5-4 games as our brand. They have to stop being our brand.
See, and I said this is their identity, Jay. This is who they are. This is how they're built.
Yeah,
You don't try to drive a Ferrari like an F-150.
So, but the thing is, though, they're going to start playing teams that are going to be tough to score 5 goals against.
Oh yeah.
And so that's the issue. So if the answer for us, as long as we're scoring 5 goals a game in the playoffs, we'll win the cup. That can't be the game plan. It can't be. We can try.
You just got
tried it against Colorado.
Didn't work, but you're better. Colorado's worse this year would be my counter argument. And you don't need to score 5 goals every game.
They're just sleeping.
You don't need to score 5 goals every game.
I can't believe we're just writing off the Colorado Avalanche.
they're red hot right now. They're 9-1 in their last 10.
Yeah,
They won 3 in a row.
exactly.
You don't
Look
need to,
how he fills out that vest. And then go back to Jack.
well, it's a process. You can't just demand things on the fly. It's a live show, Jay.
Well, I know, but
Prep that goes
this is
into it.
technology.
He's getting there. He's clicking real fast.
Can you do like a side-by-side?
Okay, you work on that, Aaron, and I'll make my point, which I'm trying to make.
The Devon Shore picture too. Whilst we're at it. No, he won't.
You don't need to score 5 goals every game in the playoffs. You just need to score 5 goals in 4 of every 7 games, right? Like, you're not going to win every game in the playoffs is my point. But this offense, I think, will be very hard for any team to stop consistently through a playoff series in back-to-back games.
Oh,
What did you think of the offense last night?
Thought it was good.
Yeah.
I thought we had some good looks.
Seeing Connor getting a goal for no particular reason.
Yeah, it would have been nice.
I thought the third line had some chances. Like, I thought every line was kind of chipping in with some offense. It was solid, like a good offensive performance, and he scored 5 goals. So whatever. The last thing I wanted to bring up with this one as we wrap up our number one big thing, which we're still on 27 minutes into the show. The least amount of scoring chances a team has given up this year in a game is 9. That means the least amount of big saves a goalie's had to make in a game is 9.
Mm-hmm.
Like, goalies need to make big saves, and a lot of them in the NHL. That's the way the sport is. It's the way hockey is.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'll end it on that. While Aaron keeps working on this side-by-side Jay wants. We'll go to
do not see there's.
I just think it's a.
Yeah, maybe it's just the camera angle. Don't worry about it, Aaron. You're working too hard. Oh, you're determined? All right, let's go.
Then we're already there. Too far gone.
Number 2 on our 3 big things, Draisaitl, Mr. 300, the big milestone. Nick Bukestad said he was joking on the bench about how, someone was grabbing the puck, and he said, "What milestone is this? He just keeps hitting them." And we took this yesterday on Oilers Nation After Dark with Connor Halley. It was a great show. We had a good time. I was also spicy on that show about just kind of the transformation.
Were you spicy about Jack Campbell?
I was spicy about a lot of things, honestly.
Okay.
The way Draisaitl's kind of changed himself throughout his career, right? And we're getting to the point where this is kind of Draisaitl's prime. These are going to be the best 3-4 producing years of his career in all likelihood. But the way he went from being drafted as like a guy who's probably going to be good defensively, plays a complete game, all of that, doesn't move well, doesn't shoot well, but he's solid, to, okay, he eventually transitioned that into moving well and being this high-end playmaker with the passes and all of that. And then, boom, he added this element of being a sniper. For him to get to 300 goals, I think it's obviously a massive accomplishment, but just a really interesting, I don't know if you want to call it a testament to how he's built himself up as a pro.
Where do you think he ends?
Well, how many goals does he finish with?
Yep.
What year are we in now of Draisaitl?
49.
So 630 games, he's got 300 goals. Does he play 1260? If he plays 1260 in his career, then I think you're probably looking at 700 because his pace is going to be good for the next few. I think he could.
700 goals. Wow. That is a big number.
I think between 7 and 750, somewhere in there.
Whoa.
Yeah, why not?
Really? You think that?
That is
he'd be top
massive number.
He would be top 10 in all-time goals. So maybe that is too high. But he's just scoring at such a clip right now. Like, it's not crazy to think he's going to play 1,300 games as an NHLer. And right now he's humming at this basically half a goal a game.
50 goal seasons, like, because this would be technically his 3rd in a row, right?
650 would put him in the top 15.
Well, I guess the bubble season confuses things.
So I don't know. I think I don't see a reason why he can't hit the 700 goal mark. It would put him 9th all time in NHL goals. But like over the next few seasons, and I'll caveat that by saying he's got to stay with Connor to do it, because you need to be a part of that power play and keep racking up all those power play goals like he does. But I think 700 is like not an insane thing to say about him. I think he's that good.
Who would
I think he's really good, but wow, that's a big number. Yeah.
But I mean, like, you just look like the superstar level guys. Like, Ovi's already at 1342 for games played.
Ovi is a freak of nature.
I know, but I think Draisaitl can be as well.
But can Draisaitl score 50 goals at the age of 45?
But for him to
Ovi
just
is.
get to 700, he won't have to.
It's interesting too, because it's not like Draisaitl plays through like speed or anything, right? Like, he bases off of like his strength and he kind of slows the game down. So like when he is 40 or late 30s. Is his
Like,
game going to be that different?
Like, is he a 50-goal guy for another 5 years? Because if he is, then like 700 is no problem.
I think he's got a couple more.
He could be a 50-goal
Oh
guy.
no, but
through
then
his,
5 years, and then
through his age 31 season.
and then 150. Yeah, okay.
It's not like we're at one-offs anymore. His first 50-goal season came in 2018, 2019, and then it was 43, 31, and 56 games. Granted, 55 last year and 46 again this year. We're almost running on year 5 of him being in that range every year consistently. So why can't he do it another 5? And that would give him 250 more, put him at least 550 coming out of his prime, and then 150 goals in the final 6 seasons of his NHL career as he winds things down. 700s he can do it.
Okay.
I believe.
Let's do this vest comparison. It's very important to me. Like, does it not look like it's made of string on Ekholm versus Jack?
I mean, the one is a behemoth of a
like
human.
It looks like a bikini on Ekholm. Like string bikini.
And a trench coat.
It looks like a quadruple XL on Jack. Do we have the vest with Skinner?
We don't, Aaron. No, don't give in to him. We have to finish off our 3 big things, and man, another clutch goal from our boy Ryan Nugent.
My God, that guy. There was his power play points. I was gonna, damn it. Anyways,
all the guy does is score clutch goals this year, and I really hope that trend continues.
And that came off of a booth shot.
Well, let's take a look at how that goal came to fruition.
So Bush getting pucks through.
Yeah, Bush getting pucks through. Again, he walked the line really, really well on their first power play goal. Then there, boom, just knowing that you got a couple of guys humming around the crease. And if you get a shot through, it's either going in itself or you're getting a rebound like you did. And then Nuge with the quick hands down low, an absolute beauty. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, didn't think I'd be saying this at the start of the year, one of the most consistent goal scorers in the NHL this year. Like, there's just never really been a gap where he's gone a long stretch without consistently scoring.
The Nuge has always been a late bloomer. Like, he still can't grow a whisker. Like, he's only getting better.
It was interesting where he was stood too, because I was on the power play just before that. He was kind of where McDavid was on that one, and he just kept absolutely firing into that guy's shin pads, whoever it was. He kept blocking. I think it was like 3 in a row.
Yeah.
And then this was coming off the 5-on-3, I believe. Yeah. So Nuge was in a different position and obviously capitalized. So just kind of interesting how that worked out that way.
Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, he's never gone more than 4 games without a goal this year.
Really?
And he's only even gotten to that 4 mark 3 times throughout the year. That the consistency has just been remarkable for a guy that makes in the $5 million range. He's one of the best contracts in the NHL. And so is the other guy in the $5 million range, Zach Hyman, who also scored last night. The consistency they've gotten, though, at a number
100
93.
points for Nuge. Come on, baby.
What's he at now? 93?
91.
91.
So he's got 7 games to get 9 points.
Totally doable. Totally doable.
Needs one more big game, I'd say. Right?
He needs, just
have a 3-point night somewhere here.
If he has a 3-point night, a couple 2-point nights, take a night off, point. Let's go.
There you go. Jay just outlined it. There's our 3 big things for last night's hockey game as the Oilers roll over the Arizona Coyotes. I shouldn't say roll over. It was 5-4. It was a close game.
Man, the Mullet Arena looks fun.
Yeah? Well, you had Ryan Spakowski.
He was basically standing right behind Nuge there on that goal.
Did you see when they did the ticket prices for the student section?
No.
$100.
That's where he was sitting. He was sitting on a bench. Yeah.
Yeah. God, that would be unbelievable.
It's hilarious.
We will do. Okay. I'm saying it. I don't know if we can do it because I don't know if we can get tickets, but we will do a nation vacation. Who cares what day of the week it is? Experience brought to you by AMA Travel.
I'm telling you,
they will make it happen.
3-day trip down there, fly in, golf, next day hockey, next day golf, fly home the next day, 4-day trip.
4-day trip.
Nation goes golfing.
A nation golf trip. Yeah. I'm with you. Price tag might be steep. Or we just play some fun course that doesn't really matter. It's just about the golfing with the boys and the late girls.
It'd be a really good time. Warm weather. It'd be fun.
As long as it's not in January. It's like if it's like a November, March, or April, or because because it can be kind of
Get
cool.
a little cool there, yeah, especially at night. Well, since we're talking about AMA travel and our nation vacations, let's take a look at what's going on at the AMA travel out of town scoreboard. Last night, it broke our way. Seattle lost, which means there's now a 5-point gap between the Oilers and the Kraken. Seattle with the game in hand, but we're just again, that was a big night and a big kind of 2-point swing or 4-point swing, if you want to call it that, with the Oilers getting their result and the Kraken not. That goes a long way in keeping them in that third spot. And the big thing there is that you will avoid potentially having to play a central team in a round. So it's important that the Oilers stay above the Seattle Kraken in points percentage, which they are. Now it's just trying to get home ice in round 1 of the playoffs. Tonight on the out-of-town scoreboard, Nashville is in Boston. That one really doesn't affect the Oilers all that much anymore. Dallas is in Chicago, and LA is in Calgary. So I know the ABCs, anyone but Calgary, but tonight we are rooting for the Calgary Flames.
I don't know what I'm rooting for now. Don't we want LA to win the division?
Damn, that's a good point.
LA.
Like, I don't like it's.
I don't want to say this.
You're gonna say it.
Are they as good as they seem?
I don't know,
Who
but
have they played? They've honestly not really played
the same
many good
teams we've played,
and we've beat them too. But they did, like, if you look at their last one, so they played the Blues, the Jets, Calgary, Vancouver, Columbus, the Islanders, Preds, and then they played the Avalanche. So in their last 9, they've played one team in a playoff spot.
but they've played like 4 teams like fighting for their lives.
Yeah, but the Oilers have beat those teams too. I just think it's interesting. Like, I'm not trying to say like they're not good, but maybe they're just not as good as we're all making them seem. We're gonna have to beat them either way if we want to win the cup. So bring them on whenever, as far as I'm concerned.
I don't hate that.
I agree. Just the second.
The other side of it too is, I mean, if you win tonight and LA loses, you're only a point back of them.
But then we'd still be playing them.
Yeah, but at least you'd have home ice again.
Sure.
So what would you rather, home ice against LA or on the road versus Vegas?
I think Vegas.
I think we match up well against Vegas.
Me too.
Like, I don't think we played particularly well on Saturday night.
Also, if you win tonight, you're only 3 back of the Golden Knights. Granted, game in hand, but
yeah, they need to slide. And oddly enough, Calgary is somehow still in the mix. They have to go undefeated.
the other thing too, when you look at kind of what the Golden Knights have coming up down the stretch here, it's the Oilers tonight, Sharks, then they go Wild back to back. They have back-to-backs against the Kraken to end the year, and there's a game against the Kings. So, sorry, I'll just actually lay out their schedule in order. This is the Golden Knights in their final 9 games. Oilers, Sharks, Wild, Preds, Kings, Stars, Kraken. Good teams they play. And that head-to-head between Vegas and LA, if it doesn't go to overtime, I think the Oilers play like the Sharks or something like that game. There's a beautiful chance for the Oilers
There's
to
some
gain
movement.
2 in one of
There's
them.
some movement.
There's, like, as much as we're getting to the end of the year, and if you start thinking about what record do the Oilers need to get to this spot or that spot, there is still time for movement.
We can move. We can move. Hey, well, Matt, it'd be great to play Seattle the first round.
That would be nice.
It'd be awesome, actually.
Tyler Mulick says the Wild are scary. Robert says LA is the Western Conference version of the Islanders. Interesting. And Ryan, the editor, says, I would agree. Rip the Band-Aid off. Let's do it. I want to see LA series force us to elevate our game early in the playoffs. I mean, Vegas would as well. So, yeah. Anyways, it'll be interesting. Tonight, there is a bit of an out-of-town scoreboard. Shout out to our friends at AMA Travel. Tonight's matchup specifically against the Vegas Golden Knights, because it is a Shore Ford Giant game day. Check them out online, shoreford.ca. If you want to learn more about their mobile service department, boom, in the description of today's episode. Go give it a click. I fully expect Stuart Skinner to be starting in this hockey game. This is a Vegas team that obviously beat the Oilers over the weekend. They've won 4 in a row. They're 8-2-0 in their last 10, and they've been a pretty decent home team this season. Granted, a little bit better on the road than they are at home, but 22-15 straight up at T-Mobile Arena. But the Oilers should be coming into this game with all the confidence in the world. They've beaten them in this situation before, and they played with them on Saturday.
Yeah, they're right there with Vegas, right? What was the first game they won? All 3 of them have been 1-goal games, right?
McDavid OT winner.
Yeah.
Then there was the one we saw in Vegas,
Which
and then there was the last one they
4-3, I
lost.
think.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it was 4-3, 4-3, then whatever last game was. 4-3?
4-3.
Yeah, they've all been 4-3.
Vegas is good, but
Were they 4-3 when we were there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I don't know. They don't intimidate me. I think the Oilers they should intimidate me a bit more because
Is it because Jonathan Quick's in that?
They just seem to overcome like whatever gets thrown their way.
Yeah.
Like goaltending, there was that stat after where it's like 4 straight they've won with a different goaltender.
First time in NHL history that's ever happened.
Half the bottom 6 I've never even heard of, and one of them scores. Like maybe I just don't watch Vegas enough, but boy oh boy, they just find a way to do it. But I still believe the Oilers at their best are better than the Vegas Golden Knights.
How the hell are we the favorites?
I saw that too.
I knew that's what you were going to be mad about.
But like, come on. Don't do us dirty like this. They are well ahead of us in the standings, and we're playing in their barn.
Yeah. I don't get it, man.
I don't get it either.
This affects my bet. I know I'm late to the party, and I did not submit my bet today. I apologize.
Yeah, we'll talk about the betting in a second, but I wanted to outline some numbers for the Vegas Golden Knights, and we'll get to the lines brought to you by Sherwood Ford. But I talked about Edmonton and how they've looked defensively since the trade deadline. Vegas, in those same metrics, not good since the deadline.
Who's good defensively since the deadline, Tyler? Who's really good defensively since the deadline, Tyler?
I don't know.
The LA Kings.
Okay.
Nobody.
Again, we're talking about the game tonight. Shots against per 60 since the deadline. Vegas 4th last in the NHL. Scoring chances against per 60 since the deadline. 2nd last in the NHL.
And we lost to them on Saturday.
High danger shot attempts per 60 since the deadline in the NHL. 2nd last. Only the Blue Jackets worse than them. Yeah, I know we lost to them on Saturday, but the Oilers had a lot of good looks in that hockey game, and that game probably could have gotten out of hand early.
Swad.
They had the Oilers had 4 or 5 quality looks in like a 6-minute span in the middle of the first period. Like they were on them, and they looked good. I'm actually relatively confident heading into this hockey game. The Oilers have been decent in back-to-backs. It's not that much of a factor really in today's NHL. You got your guy going in Stuart Skinner. He's hungry for a bounce-back performance, and this is a Vegas team that bleeds chances. I'm high on the Oilers' chances of winning tonight. I would make them the favorites if I was setting the line.
Jonathan Quick is a likely start tonight too.
Is he listed as likely on DFL?
Well, let's take the -3.5, shall we, boys?
Well, I mean, finally we can just copy and paste all the Quick slander we had on Saturday when he didn't end up playing.
Just fill the rest of the show, Aaron.
Yeah.
That on. It says Quick was the first off the ice at morning skate today.
All right. So, yeah, that likely means he is going to be between the pipes for the Vegas Golden Knights. Here's how the rest of their lineup is going to look this evening against the Oilers. Top line, Jack Eichel, Ivan Barbashev, and Jonathan Marchessault. Both Marchessault and Eichel found the back of the net in the Oilers game against the Golden Knights on Saturday. William Karlsson with Mike Amadio and Pavel Dorofeyev. He also scored on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Nicholas Waugh with Phil Kessel and Chandler Stevenson. Waugh got the OT winner in the game on Saturday. So 3 different lines of Vegas found some offensive production.
Wow.
And the 4th line, Bluger, Kolasar, Brett Howden.
Phil the Thrill. Do you think he had flashbacks when Vincent Desharnais was like grabbing him, he's like whacking him with his stick?
John Scott flashbacks?
Oh, yeah. That's all I could think about when it was happening. Made me laugh. Didn't the Oilers get 3 lines of scoring too?
Fogle scored in that game.
And then Draisaitl got one on the power play.
And then Hyman scored.
3 different lines.
Yeah. Martinez, Petrangelo, McNabb with Theodore, Haig with Zach Whitecloud is the blue line here. So Vegas maybe starting to get a little bit healthier, but they are still without Logan Thompson, Riley Smith, and
we got Jonathan Quick.
Mark Stone. Pardon?
You got Jonathan Quick.
And they have Jonathan Quick. What about him? You want me to talk about how average he's been recently? No? Skip over that.
What a show.
Yeah. What do you like for bets tonight, guys?
I see Ekholm's line has moved back up to 6 to 1. It was 5.5. I'm tempted. He is a goal threat. Hey,
Ekholm?
Yeah.
Look good.
Like he had a real good chance yesterday, and I thought he was going to bury, and he didn't, which makes me think he might do it tonight.
He plays very freely in the offensive zone, I found. He just kind of does what he wants, and it works a lot of the time.
I like that. Like he goes to a lot of different areas.
Yeah.
He's not a guy who just
Very
does one thing over and over again.
Yeah.
I like that point. So is that what you're doing? You're doing Ekholm tonight?
I don't know. I'm looking.
I'm
You guys go. I'm
gonna do Oilers and to win and Draisaitl 2+ points. It was plus 225.
I'm doing Oilers puck line plus 175. Just straight puck line, baby. Win by 2. I think they're due for a puck line.
Oh, this is juicy. You ready?
There
You
we
guys ready?
Yeah.
Oilers to win Under 6.5, 3.75.
So plus 285 or whatever. Yeah, okay.
That's what I'm doing.
Oilers in the under. Oilers puck line for me. And you are doing what again, Liam?
Oilers money line, Draisaitl 2 points.
I
All
just
right.
made the bet.
There you go.
They're due for an under.
We are locked in. Locked in. Looking to build up the units. Scott Aroni says Roy was great last game. Yeah, he's a good centerman. Oh boy, what name is this? Lala Zaz? Is McLeod close? I don't think I wouldn't call him close. But we'll see.
I would go 11-7 tonight.
Really?
I would.
So that's your key to victory, 11-7?
11-7. Sure. That'll be my key to victory.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate that idea at all. Get some different D-men out there and all of that. What is my key to victory going to be? Capitalize on your chances. Jonathan Quick is beatable in this Vegas team, as I outlined, gives up a lot of looks right now, a ton of looks. And last game, if you would have capitalized on some chances, had a bit more of a timely scoring factor, you would have ran away with that hockey game. So tonight, capitalize on your scoring chances. Jay, key to victory for Sherwood Ford?
Limit the amount of scoring chances against.
Be
above average.
Okay,
be well above average.
Be well above average.
13 is like the definition of the mean almost. Be better than the mean. Positively regress.
I like that. That's a buzzword we haven't heard on this show in a while. Positively regress. Here's how the Oilers are expected to or could potentially line up tonight. Obviously not skating because they played last night. McDavid, Yamo, Kane, Draisaitl, Hyman, Nuge, Bukestad, Janmark, Fogel, Shore, Costin, Ryan. There you go.
Costin loves Vegas.
He does. Scored
So
last
does
time they were in
Janmark.
there. Maybe you want to sprinkle on one of those two.
Yeah, well, we got a revenge goal, and we got a guy who loves the fortress. And we got Connor McDavid, who last night didn't score, who was probably pissed, and then whiffed on another shot. What's going on?
He's slumping. Points in 8 straight, but he's
I feel
slumping.
a bounce back. Like, this is probably a 2-goal game for Connor.
I can see
He's
that
got to
too.
get north of 65 goals.
That was our first comment of the day up in the chat, was a prediction that McDavid goes hard.
Hard in the paint.
Tyler Mulick says regressing to the mean. No, positive regression. Trust
So
me.
positive regression actually means they'd be below the mean and they're positively regressing back to the mean, which is not good. We want to go above the mean.
Yeah, right now they're above the mean, but we want them
They're
to positively.
mildly.
We want them to positively regress higher.
We want
than
them
that.
to progress. Progress away from the mean.
Maynard says they should move Fogel up the lineup. I wouldn't hate that idea. I think he's been playing some good hockey.
I think you need him where he's at.
You need him to drive that third
I
line
think
a
he's
little.
driving that line. I think he's having a positive impact on everything. I thought Clem was really good last night. It's the first time I've really noticed him in a while do stuff with the puck.
Yep.
Like he drew that one penalty. I was just looking here. It's the first time he's played 10 minutes in a game since March 6th, which was against Buffalo. He usually averages around 7.
Tyler Mulick says McDavid only 18 points in his last 10. Bum. Tyson says, I think the word is progression, guys. No, it's not. Trust me.
Nope.
No, it is. No. It's progression.
No, it's positive regression. I don't understand why you're trying to give me an English lesson.
We've looked this up.
No, they're two different words with different
Not
meanings.
in the mood I'm in, Jay. Desiree says Nuge needs a Gordie Howe hat trick. If Nuge gets a Gordie Howe hat trick in any game during the playoffs, now end of the year,
It's in him.
I will shotgun a
He's
beer
got the
on this
dog in him.
stream.
I noticed
shocking.
you've changed your approach to what you're going to do for things. You're going to do things you'd like to
Yeah,
do
now you know that the full container has to be consumed.
I'll drink a full beer. All right. Whoa.
A nice cold beer.
Relax.
Yeah, of my choosing.
Yeah.
And now it'll be my favorite beer.
All right.
Okay. Well, here we go. Puck drop tonight's at 8:30.
Oh God.
God, I would hate to be the
Get
people
the 7 p.m. pot of coffee going.
I think you're on after potentially tonight.
Holy shit.
Maybe
If I'm awake, yep.
if
Isn't
you're
it-
awake.
you know,
All
it's
right.
an 8 p.m. puck drop.
It's 8. Oh, I thought it was 8:30.
That's what Google's.
Oh
telling me.
no, 8 o'clock.
So
You're right. 8 p.m.
Oh,
puck drop.
geez,
Not
just
bad.
found 30 minutes.
Lock
That's
them
nice.
in. Lock
Let's
in,
go.
Jay, for After Dark
Let's
with
go.
Connor Halley.
All right.
Look for that coming up on the Oilers Nation YouTube later this evening. New episode of Oilers Nation Radio coming this afternoon as well. Back-to-back Sherwood Ford Giant game days here on Oilers Nation every day, and this show was a lot of fun. Thanks to everyone who tuned in and was active in the chat. We'll be back tomorrow. Frank Saravalli stopping by noon Mountain Time. Chat with you then. Enjoy the game tonight.